Hello, 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 my brothers, and hello, my sister. It's dinner time. Come on in, come on in. I got some good soul food for you this evening. Come on in, come on in. It's supper time. I hope that you're ready for a good meal tonight because I'm going to feed you some good soul food this evening. My brother and sister, I hope that you all had a good day because your brother Tony definitely had a good day. I'm feeling excellent, blessed with a twist of serenity, my brother and sister. Feeling real good because it's family time. If you have any friends out there, invite some of your friends to come in to dinner time. We got plenty of room. We got plenty of food. We got extra plates and everything. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We're going to give a few more people an opportunity to chime in. And then we're going to jump into tonight's broadcast. You're going to love it, my brother. You're going to love it, my sister. It's very, very beneficial, especially if you're interested in a relationship. We all have some form of relationship, my brother and sister, but I hope that you all are getting ready because it's about that time. How you doing, Sister Miller and Brother Henry? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in. In a few seconds, we're going to jump right into this broadcast. Well, how you all doing this evening? Your brother Tony is in the house. Come on in, sit down, my brother and sister, because I got a good meal prepared for you all tonight. I got some good soul food. How you doing, Sister Teresa? I see your John Hancock down there. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sister, because we got some good soul food this evening, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy and you're going to feast tonight, my brothers and my sisters. Now, allow me to introduce myself. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. How you doing, Sister Flo? I talk about relationship. I talk about relationship pertaining to a man and a woman that should be serious, that should move to the commitment phase of the relationship, and after that, they should be focused on the commitment part of the relationship. Not the commitment, but the covenant part. So you need to be serious, committed, and move towards the covenant part. How you doing, Sister Sherry E. Smith? I see you at the dining table tonight. If you don't believe in God, but before I say that, my brother and sister, let me give you my position on relationships. I strongly believe in a relationship between a man and a woman, first of all. That's what I believe in, a relationship between a man and a woman. Why do I believe that way? Because that's how God structured the relationship. God structured the relationship from the beginning. God created the man. He did not create two men. In the beginning, he created a woman. He did not create two women. He created the man Adam, and he created the woman Eve. He how did he do it? He caused a deep sleep to come upon Adam. He reached into Adam's side. He closed up the womb. He stepped aside, formed the woman, and he represented the woman back to the man. How you doing, Brother Mosley? And how you doing, my little sister Renee? So that's how God did it. So that's the relationship I believe in. Now, if you at this dinner table, my brother and sister, and you believe in another type of relationship, you have what is called a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But as far as dinner time here at this particular table, I talk about the relationship of that between a man and woman. If any of you have anything to say during the broadcast, be free to say whatever you want to say, but be very, very respectful to the other brothers and sisters. With that said, we're going to get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is, God has the answer for a woman that has a very strong desire for a man to love her. How you doing, Sister Vale? Again, tonight's topic is, God has the answer for a woman that has a very strong desire for a man to love her. How you doing, Mother? I see you in the house. Now, what do I mean by God has the answer? Brother and sister, God has the answer for everything. And if we really want to know something, we need to go to God for whatever we need first before we want. But when we go to God, it's all about God first. We got to see what God will is in our life and what he wants us to do for him. because it's all about God. Secondly, that's when it comes down to us, okay? That's when we can make petition for ourselves, okay? Now, do you all remember, my brothers and sisters, do you all remember that was a show. As a matter of fact, there were 3 shows. Do you all remember that show called Father Knows Best? It was an old time show. Some of you old school people, y'all have seen this show, Father Knows Best. It started, how you doing, Sister Twilight? It started Robert Yarn, Lauren Chafin, Jane White, and Billy Gray. It was a popular radio show before it became a TV show. And not only that, you all remember the show called Good Times, right? You all remember though, Evan, you all remember John Amos, Esther Rose, Bernita Stice, something like that, Thelma, Ralph Carter, and Jimmy Walker, and Janice Duval. You all remember the Good Time, right? And you know that story, it was like a political show, and it delivered plenty of laughs, and the show had some very strong characters. Then we had this other show too, my brothers and sisters. You all can remember this. You all remember that show called Leave It to Beaver. You all remember the show called, that's right, my sister, Jimmy Walker was on Good Time too. Now, and you all remember Leave It to Beaver. That was Hugh Bowman. That was Barbara Billingsley, Tony Dow, and Jerry Mathis as the Beaver. You all remember those family structure shows, right? But what all those shows had in common, the 3 father figures, they were these men, they loved their wives, and these men loved their children, and all other things came after that, okay? All other things came after that. Now, my question, my brother and sister, before I get into anything, remember these were fictional characters. These were fictional men, but these men were family men. These men on TV, even though it was fictional, they showed love. The men showed love for their wives, and they showed love for their children, right? Now, let us discuss the real world, my brother and sister. There was an article that I ran over, and the article I got this from is called The Power of Positivity, okay? And it was published in July the 6th of 2016, and it was modified February the 15th of this year. Now, according to that article, my brothers, and according to the article, my sister, there are 5 things, according to the article now, that women must have in a relationship. And this is what this article said. It said that women must have this in a relationship. It said number 1 is vulnerability. What does that mean for a woman? It means that women are emotional beings, and they want to be able to be themselves. You understand that, brother? Women want to be themselves, okay? They don't want to feel like they walking on eggshells or ice. They want to be themselves. Number 2, according to this article now, it said women need intimacy. Women want to feel that they are understood and accepted. See, some people think when I said intimacy, some people say, oh, he talking about sex. No, it ain't all about sex sometimes, but it does have a part in a relationship. But intimacy, women want to feel, brother, they want to feel understood, and they want to be accepted. Number 3, women want support. What do I mean by support? According to the article, there is nothing more flattering to a woman, my brother, than to receive unwavering support from her man when she make decisions. Number 4, trust. Trust, brother. Women, without saying, they want to be able to trust a man that they are in a relationship with. Women want to feel secure. They want to feel very secure. They want to feel protected, and they want to feel loved. And number 5, according to this article now, it said that best friend, brother, you got to understand, women have a special bond with her girlfriend. Hopefully she don't have no negative girlfriend. Now, sister, if you have some negative girlfriend and you trying to establish a relationship with a man, you may have to cut ties with those negative women. If you got women that's not walking down the same road as you or a similar road, you're going to have to make some adjustment when it comes to a man. Now, that's just how it is. Now, I'm about to expound to you, brothers and sisters, not explain, but I'm about to expound to you on tonight's show that God has an answer for a woman that has a very strong desire to be in love with her. Only God, my brothers, and only God, my sister, knows the level of a woman need for a man or desire for a man. But there's a particular man, not an average man. Again, my sisters and brother, only God knows the level of a woman's desire, her strong desire for a man. If she is very feminine and she has that built-in thing that she wants to be in a relationship with a man. Now, to every woman tonight that listening to my voice, and read my lips, sister, if you listen to my voice, read my lips. Most women, not all women, but most women have a want list when it comes to a man, not a need list when it comes to a man, okay? Most women, not all women, they have a want list, a long want list instead of a need list, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? The word want, my brother and sister, I know you all have an idea what it means, but when I went to the dictionary, the word want is defined as having a strong desire to possess or do something, a wish for list, okay? Whereas the word need is defined as requiring something because it is essential or very important. That's the difference between a need and a want. A want is for possession. You desire to possess something, okay? You can live with it or you can live without it. But a need is essential and is very important. Now, before God calls a particular man, sister, to find you, he's not going to go running after you. He ain't going to be hunting. Before God, sister, called a particular man to find you, the man must be spiritual led. Only men that find women are spiritual led. Now, when I say find, I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective. There's a lot of men that out there, they call themselves finding women, but they don't find genuine women. And there are some women that hook up with men that don't find them. They bump into each other. But when I'm talking about when a man really, really finds a woman, you all know that I always say that God does all the lead work. The man participates and the woman participate, but God is in the background when he calls a man to find a woman. But first, sister, before he calls that particular man to find you, one of the things, sister, you have to be prepared to be a wife. Before we get to the man, you got to be emotionally, mentally, and willfully prepared to be a wife. Sister, you should not settle just being a girlfriend. Sister, you should not settle just being a live-in. Sister, you should not settle being a boo thing. Sister, you should not settle being a midnight rowing. And you all know what I mean by a midnight rowing. Hello, what you doing? Can I come by? Can you come over here? That's what I mean by midnight wrong. What you know is not going to go nowhere. Now, sisters, be warned. Just because you have a strong desire for a man doesn't mean that God will cause the right, not perfect man to find you. As it is written in Proverbs 18:22, whomsoever find a wife, find a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. It's not talking about every man. That scripture is not talking about every man, and it's not talking about every woman. It said, whoever finds a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. Now, a man, this is talking about a spiritual man. And it's talking about a good woman, which is a Proverbs 31 woman. Not no worldly woman, a Proverbs 31 woman. That man, he obtained favor from the Lord. Any man that gets a good wife, she's not going to be perfect, brothers. She's not going to be perfect. Let me tell you, brother, she's not going to be perfect. So whatever image you got in your mind, brother, about a woman, on that sheet of paper, I want you to ball it up tonight and throw it in the trash, burn it up, cut it up, whatever you want to do. Whatever your idea of a woman is, brother, let's cancel that. And sister, whatever idea you have of your knight in shining armor to find you and come rescue you, or your name Rapunzel and you're going to let down your hair, your name Sleeping Beauty, you want him to come and wake you up and all that kind of stuff. That's fictional. That's very fictional. The man that find a woman, this man have a purpose in his life and he follows God. This is the man I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no worldly man. I'm talking about a spiritual man that falls on his face sometimes. He's not a perfect man. He falls, he made errors, but he's following God. He doesn't give up God. This man is a leader, and he's prepared to be the head of a home. And the woman should have the heart to follow this type of man. If she follow the Lord, she will follow this man. In order for God to bless you, sister, with a godly man, you have to have traces of a Proverbs 31 woman. To be honest, some of you sisters, to be honest, some of you sisters, not all of you, I'm not talking to worldly women. Some worldly women might stop by the dinner table to see what's cooking and what I got to cook. So you could come in, some of you sisters that just curious about what I got on the table, some of the good soul food. You could come in and get a little bite. But let me tell you, a proverb, you have to be honest to yourselves at this point. Some of you sisters, you have to be honest. You have to take a self-evaluation of yourself. Some of you sisters, you have to look in the nearest mirror. The nearest mirror to you. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to say, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I a Proverbs 31 woman, or am I not one at all? Again, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I a Proverbs 31 woman, or am I not one at all? I'm not speaking of that mirror in your bathroom. I'm not speaking of that mirror that's in your purse. I'm speaking of that mirror called God's Word, the Bible. Sister, you should pray. And you should pray to God through his son Jesus. There's no other way to get to the Father. And I'm trying to lead you to the answer. You have to pray to God through his son Jesus. And when you pray to the Lord God through his son Jesus, don't ask him for no man right off. Don't ask. That's what some of you sisters make a mistake. Don't ask God for no man first off. Don't do it. What you have to do, sister, you have to seek God's will first in your life. After you have sought your God's will for your life, then what you need to request from God is, God, mold me into that Proverbs 31 woman that I'm reading about in your word. Most women that I have talked to, most of them, they don't even pray to God for the right man. Most women don't pray to God. They go, but they get a hookup somewhere. They get a reference somewhere. But most women do not pray to God to mold them first. Sister, you have to be molded into the right woman. You're not getting molded to a perfect woman. You are getting molded to be the right woman. When you read the book of Proverbs, sister, when you read the book of Proverbs, whatever language it is in, you could read like I'm talking English, and most of you all read English, right? When you read, you can understand you could read those words and say, I know what that word means, but do you know what the meaning behind the word? Can you read between the lines? What do I mean by reading between the lines? Let's go back to the Revolutionary War. When the United States, when America during that time, when they were trying to break away from Great Britain, Great Britain was still trying to call the shots on the people in America, right? So the American got tired of Great Britain trying to tell them what to do. And that's when the Great Boston Tea Party and all that stuff went down. But during the time when that war was between America and Great Britain, they used to have some couriers that used to carry messages to different location where soldier was at the United States, that is. So what they used to do, they used to have this certain type of ink that they used to use, like if you understand it, my brother and sister, like when you read a book now, it have a little space between every line, right? It have a little space. So during that time, they used to use a certain type of ink that would illuminate, right? So what do I mean? So they would write a certain thing between those two lines, on the letter. They're right. So if they got caught, the British, they could not see no hidden message. So what they used to do, when they used to get to where they supposed to be at, they would hold that piece of paper over a fire, right, or light, and it will illuminate the real writing between each line. That's where that concept comes from, reading between the lines. So now I use that illustration to talk about God's word. You have to, sister, you have to pray to God to teach you, to show me. I want you to help me to read between the lines, God. I want you to have your spirit to guide me into what this Proverbs 31 woman is. I could read it, but I don't understand it. You got to tell God, I don't understand it. I could read it, but I don't understand it. Lord, you need to mold me into a Proverbs 31 woman. Before I ask for a man, it's about your will, God, and then I want you to mold me unto the right woman. In order for me to desire a right man, not a perfect man, I got to work on myself first. Not the man, what he's going to bring. I need to be prepared, Lord, for you to work on me first. That's what you sister have to do. Now, after you do that, you're on the road, my sister. After you do that, you going after God's will, and now you put in a request for God to do something for you. Also, what you have to do, sister, you have to delight in the Lord. You have to consistently delight in the Lord, as it is written in Psalm 37, 4 through 7. Psalm 37, 4 through 7. Psalm 37, 4 through 7. It say, take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Listen carefully. Commit your ways to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your innocence radiate like the dawn. The justice of your cause will shine like the noonday sun. Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Don't worry about evil people and prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. Now, let me tell you what this means, sister. First of all, you delight in the Lord. It's all about the Lord first and foremost. The Lord see that you have a desire, sister, okay? You have a lot of desire, but we narrowed it down to you want to be in a relationship with the right man. He see that. So what you have to do, you have to commit yourself wholeheartedly to the Lord. And you have to trust him for everything, but we'll talk about a relationship. And once you commit your ways to the Lord, you got to go to the Lord like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the right man look like. You got to be honest. I don't know what the right man look like. I have a top 10 list for a man, Lord, but I'm about to ball the paper up myself and throw it away. That's what I want. All this stuff on the paper, Lord, is what I want in a man. But I don't want no man. I want you to give me a man that needs me as well as I need him. He needs me and I need him. Most women don't do that. Most men, by the way, don't do that. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to show you something, sister. You commit all your ways and trust in the Lord, and the Bible says he will do it because he would fulfill your desires, okay? After that, be still in his presence. You have to be still in his presence. Whatever you do, my sister, you got to understand you are in the Lord's presence and you're representing him before a man find you. And then here's the key thing, what throw a lot of women out. It said, and wait patiently for him to act. That's a key word. It said, be patient. If you don't be patient, you're going to mess up. What you're going to do, sister, you're going to settle for a man if you don't be patient. What does patient mean? Tony, what patient mean? I've been wanting to be in a relationship with a man for many years. I'm 50 years old. I really want the company of a man. The men that been running to me, they are not right, Lord. When, Lord, when? I'm aging, Lord, I'm aging. Help me, Lord, help me. Tony, when will the Lord bring the right man to me? I don't know. I don't know when he's going to do it. But he does it in his time. You got to understand, the Lord lived in eternity. He lived outside of time. He came into time in the form of Jesus, but the Lord lived outside of time. But he will work in our time. All you have to do, sister, I'm telling you, just trust in the Lord and he will do it. By the way, a personal story. I was about to settle. As you all know, I have been married before and that was over with. But now I'm married. What I was about to do between that last episode and now, I was about to settle, my brothers and sisters. I was about to do it. I was about to end up probably going through some rough patches again. But the Lord restrained me and he helped me back. How you doing, Auntie? He restrained me and helped me back for some years. I dated several women. And I was about to settle, not with all of them, but I was about to settle. But it was the Spirit of the Lord saying, don't do it, Tony, don't do it. Remember, Tony, you have been in other relationships and it failed because you were doing it your way. Don't do it your way this time, Tony. Trust me. Trust me, and I will show you the way. So the Lord helped me back because I was about to be impatient. I understand, sister, because a lot of men, they want to be in a relationship. They need to be in a relationship with a good woman. Not want to be, but need to be if they have a desire. Okay? So, sister, I can understand the patience. So be patient and wait on the Lord. Don't get before him. Now, guards have the answer for a woman that has a very strong desire for a man to love her. Here is the answer. Here's the answer. But before I tell you, here you all go, oh, now, he just said, here go the answer. He was doing all that talking, and I'm tuned in, and now he talking about something else. But before I tell you that, my sisters and brothers, I must take this to heart, sisters, and let this rest in your heart. Stop looking for a man. I will say that 2 more times. Stop looking for a man. Stop looking for a man. Stop looking for a man to take care of you. I'm going to say that 2 more times. Stop looking for a man to take care of you. Stop looking for a man to take care of you. Stop holding your empty hands out. Number 2, I'm going to say that 2 more times. Stop coming to the relationship holding empty hands out. Stop coming into a relationship with empty hands out. Stop looking for a man to run after you. Stop looking for a man to run after you. Stop looking for a man to run after you. Now here is the prelude to the answer. According to God's word, his own words. Don't get angry at me when I'm about to say. Okay, I'm just the newscaster at station GOD. And I'm just reporting. It is written, and you have heard this before. It is written in 1 Corinthians 11:9, and I got to break this down for you, sister. This before the man find you. And the man was not made for the woman, but the woman was made for a man. I'm going to say this 2 more times. Sister, let this penetrate your mind. In 1 Corinthians 11:9, 1 Corinthians 11:9, listen carefully. A man was not made for a woman. A man was not made for a woman. Let's say this together. A man was not made for a woman. A man was not made for a woman. A man was not made for a woman. But the woman was made for the man. But the woman was made for the man. But the woman was made for a man. Tony, I'm tired of you saying that. I was thinking it was another way. I was thinking that the man's supposed to be chasing me. I thought that the man was supposed to buy things for me. I thought the man was supposed to be doing this and this. I'm the prize. I'm the woman. I'm the prize. So if I'm the prize, this man's supposed to jump through all kinds of fiery hoops. The man's supposed to get on stage and perform for me. The man's supposed to make me happy. He's supposed to make me happy. I'm looking for happiness. I'm like Jody Watley. I'm looking for a new love. Yeah. I'm like Jody Watley looking for a new love. Wrong. Sisters, let's get the priority right first. There's not one man that was created for you. Once you get past this step, we're going somewhere. You got to get in your mind that no man was created for you. Adam was created first, then Eve. That don't mean that you don't have no value. You have a lot of value, because that's why God made a statement what I'm going to get to shortly. You have a lot of value, but you were not created for a man. But the man was not created for you. You were created for the man. Now, going back to Genesis 2:18, Genesis 2:18, Genesis 2:18. Brothers, the Lord God said, it was not good for the man should be alone. Brother, it was not good for the man should be alone. It's not good for the man to be alone. It's not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. I will make him a helpmeet for him. I will make him a helpmeet for him. Brother, when that right there tells you the importance of a good woman, the importance of a good woman, not any woman, a good woman that is a helpmeet. Now, what is a helpmeet? A helpmeet is a woman, and she is not inferior. A helpmeet is not no inferior or weak woman. As a matter of fact, she have a lot of inward strength, and she doesn't have to go around telling people, I'm a boss lady. I'm a strong, independent lady. A real strong woman don't have to say nothing. Her actions show her strength. She don't have to go around being a boss lady, saying, I'm a boss lady. I'm a strong, independent woman. If you're strong and independent, do you know what independent means? Independent means you stand alone. If you're strong and independent, stay your butt over there on that sideline. No man don't need no independent woman that come into his life. Because when you say you strong, independent means you stand alone. You are a 4th of July baby. That's what you are. You're a 4th of July baby. You're screaming independence, right? No, a man does not need no strong, independent woman. A man needs a helpmeet or a helpmate. It's a partnership. It's being on a team. It's a companion and a partner. That's what it is. Now the world don't move to a different drawing. Oh, I'm about to get into different strokes. I ain't gonna go to that different stroke of the world. But the world doesn't properly teach a man, my brothers, how to love a woman. Sister, listen to what I'm saying. The world, as you know, when I say the world, I'm talking about the system. The world does not properly teach a man how to love a woman. To tell you the truth, the average man don't take a man by his side and say, this is how you love a woman. A lot of men don't teach their sons how to love a woman. When I say a lot of men, now if the man is staying in the household with the boy, that's a plus. But he got to be a godly man that has no fear. Brother, if you stand in the household with your son and you're in the right type of relationship with a woman, your son is watching you. Don't think he's not watching you. He's watching you how you treat his mother. He's listening to how you talk to his mother. Some of you brothers, you're afraid to touch your wife around your children. Brother, if you have a good wife, your children should see you talk gently to your woman, your wife. They should see you cuddle your woman. They should hear you tell her, I love you. They should see you showing that you love her. Because you are a walking example, some of you fathers that stay in the home. Now, it might go left if the dad is not home. He can't teach his son effectively if he don't see him that much. If it's seeing every now and then, but it's more effective if the child is up under the roof of his father consistently and his father is following the Lord. And if the father is following the Lord, the Lord could use the father to teach his son. Men don't know how to love a woman in an in-depth way unless he has a relationship with God through his son Jesus. The only way, brother, you can learn how to know how to love a woman, and exercise your wisdom, your understanding, your discernment, how to love a woman, it's imperative that you have a relationship with God through his son Jesus. A godly man has to be taught. A godly man has to be shown. A godly man has to be guided to how to love a woman. There aren't any worldly books. There aren't any worldly videos. There aren't any worldly relationship coaches that knows how a man's supposed to love a woman. Only God has the secret. Only God has the wisdom. Only God has the knowledge to impute in that man how to execute love to the right woman. Because the Lord created the woman. So if the Lord created the woman, the Lord knows the number of hairs on that woman's head as well. He know yours too, brother. But I ain't got none, but that don't count. But anyway, the Lord knows this woman in and out. So if the Lord knows this woman in and out, brother, you have to have a connection with the Lord. You have to have it just like your cell phone, brothers. You have to be plugged into the energy source. Because you will be depleted if you don't be plugged into the energy, or if you look at it like a tree. You are the branch, brother, and the Lord is the vine. The life is in the vine, not in the branch. You understand? So if you are connected to the vine, the true vine, which is Jesus, the true vine is going to produce what is called fruits. So you need the fruits of the Spirit, brother, to be executed through your body, through the Spirit of the Lord that's going to communicate to your soul, and your soul going to communicate to your body to carry out how to love a woman. A woman don't know what love look like, to tell you the truth. Women don't know what love, they have an idea of what love look like because they read romantic novels, just because they listen to their girlfriends and listen to love songs and all that kind of stuff. That's a lot of women idea and look at Lifetime. Let's throw that other stuff in. That's the idea of how women think love is. Women think love, most women, not all women, they think love is like looking at Lifetime. They get a whole perspective or definition of love by looking at 2 hours of Lifetime or something. How that go? The man meet the woman at the beginning of the movie, and we know they're going to have the woman. We're going to know who the main woman is, right? Then shortly thereafter, they're going to introduce us to the man. And we know when it comes to all romance, movies, television, whatever, we know that they're going to introduce the two main characters early. And what do? They don't let them get together right then, right? Because they have interest, right? And if you notice in most romantic things and stuff, you ever notice this, that they always have the man running or pursuing the woman? You ever notice that? They have the man going through all kind of storms and challenges and stuff just to get the woman. And he does get the woman, but he get the woman at the end of the movie. If you look at Disney stuff, you have the Prince Charmers and everything. They have to go through all this stuff to get the prince, right? The princess that's going to become the prince, right? He has to do all this stuff to get the prince. That's not God's way. That's for entertainment purpose only. That's not God's way. God's way is for the man to be prepared, to have a life purpose before he calls the man to find a woman. A godly man is commanded, not suggested, not given an option, but a godly man is commanded to love his wife. Notice what I said, a godly man. And guess what I said, a wife. So it's better, sister, if you're in a position of being engaged to get married or you married. Because if you're looking for a godly man, no godly man is going to string you along for a period of time, sister. I'm telling you now, godly men are not, a true godly man, he should not be stringing you along. As it is written in Ephesians 5:25, in Ephesians 5:25, in Ephesians 5:25, how you doing, Sister Scott? And how you doing, Sister Audrey? In Ephesians 5:25, it said, husbands, love your wife. It doesn't say boyfriend, love your wife. It doesn't say no love your wife. It don't say boo thing, love your wife. It don't say midnight rider, love your wife. It said husband, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church. That's the pattern and that's the example. It said just as Christ loved the church. And what was the pattern? And gave himself up for her. So, brother, you got to give yourself up for your wife. For the husband, this means love your wives, not love your girlfriend or the chicks on the side or your concubines and all that kind of stuff. It says love your wife just as Christ loved the church. It's active, it's present, it's ongoing, it's consistent and constant. No, constantly. He gave his life for her. Jesus gave his life for the church. Brothers, you have to have the mentality to be prepared to give your life up for your woman. Why? To make her holy and clean and wash her by the cleansing of God's word. Brother, you have to talk to your woman about God. Brother, and I ain't talking about, and you all know what I'm about to say, you don't wait till you get into bed with your wife and be on top of her and start talking about, oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's not what it's saying. You get out of your bed and have a conversation with your woman about the Lord. She's supposed to constantly hear you referring to the Lord. You ain't got to talk, you ain't got to beat over the head with the Lord every day. You can use some everyday language for, but it's some no time, brother. If you're supposed to be the head and the leader, and you say you love her, you have to talk to her about the Lord. Any man, sister, let me tell you this, sister. Any man that does not talk to you about the Lord, that is the wrong man. And he's supposed to initiate it. You know why? Because when we go back, like I said, Ephesians 5:25, it said, husband, love your wife just as Christ loved the church. Now check this out. When Jesus came, what did Jesus say? I'm all about my Father's business, right? So, brother, you're supposed to be all about Christ's business. So if you about Christ's business, what did Christ do? He talked about the Father, right? Constantly. Brother, you're supposed to talk about the Father through his son Jesus. But primarily, you need to talk. Your wife needs to hear you say Jesus' name. It's power in that name. Your wife needs to be able to identify that you have a relationship with God. Not only that, you know what your wife needs to know? The woman that you engaged to, hopefully you ain't running no game on, or you about to marry, or you already married to, that woman needs to be able to know this. When she take you around her family and friends, they should be able to say, it's such particular about that man. He's not like other men. He's a man. I know he's imperfect. He's not like other men. Your man, sister, he don't have to talk about Jesus in front of your family and friends. Based on how he does talk and how he behave, they're going to notice something particular about him. And then they're going to be compelled to ask him some questions. That's how it goes. So if you have a godly man, sister, people are going to ask you questions about him. And not only that, some people are going to tell her, and they're going to tell you, brother, they're going to say, you are a man of God. Or you got a godly man. That's what that's a high compliment, brother, for that woman, family, and friend to say, hey, you got a good one. That's a godly man. That's the highest thing, brother, that her family, her friends should look at you. They should not look at you like, okay, he's 6 feet tall, he dark and handsome, he got a 6-pack, he got 6 figures in the bank, he got that big house on the hill, he wear those expensive clothes, he got that high-end car, he got on all those exotic trips, and that don't tell them nothing about God. They name it all that worldly, superficial stuff. But they don't even see your man as a man of God. Shame on you, sister. Shame. Shame on you, brother. Shame on you, brother. How can you lead a woman? Why would a woman want to follow you? Just because you pay her bills? Like Destiny Child had a song out years ago, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill? That song, y'all listen to the Destiny Child stuff, right? But Beyonce got her a man. A lot of ladies that y'all hear singing, they got a man. They selling that stuff because they want to sell records. They give you one image in front of you, but they got another image off the record, off TV. But they want to sell you something. That's called marketing. But let me get back. He gave himself, his life up for her to be holy and clean, washed by the cleansing of the word. That's why you need to teach your woman about the word. He did this to present her to himself as a glorious church without spot or wrinkles or any other blemishes. That means, brother, you have to take care of your woman. You got to make sure she look just as good as you. You understand that, brother? Because instead, it say that he did this to present her as himself as a glory church without spot or wrinkles or any other blemish. Instead, she will be holy and without flaws. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as they love their own bodies. Brother, if you cherish yourself, you need to cherish your woman. If you're in a relationship with a woman and you are crushing her emotionally, if you're crushing her mentally, if you're crushing her physically, financially, but you making sure you together mentally, you making sure you together emotionally, you making sure you're together physically, you making sure you're together financially, but this woman that you call your woman, you don't recognize her as being one. You look at her as just being a woman that happens to be in your space. You're not one flesh. This means that this mean that the man loved the spirit of the Lord, because the Lord's spirit walks in this man. First of all, the man loved his soul. Before he loved his soul, he loved his spirit, which is the Lord. Secondly, the man loved his soul, his body, and his wife that he is cleaved to. And Jesus made a statement about this in Matthew 19:5. Matthew 19:5. Jesus said, therefore a man should leave his father and his mother and hold fast or cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Brother and sister, you are not one flesh unless you do it God's way. There are no ifs and buts about it. If you don't do it God's way, you're not one flesh. You want God to check off on it. A great test that a man really loves a woman is if that man is willing to say that that woman is his best friend after the Lord. You see, the Lord is supposed to be the man's best friend from a spiritual level. And the woman that God calls the man to find, that's supposed to be the man's best friend. Brother, if you got a guy that you calling your best friend, you missing the mark. Sister, if you got a woman that you calling your best friend, you missing the mark. When you cleave together, the best friend is supposed to be your mate. Not no other relationships supposed to precede it except for the relationship that you have with God. Now in John 15:13, Jesus said there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend. So brother, is your woman your friend? Are you willing to lay your life down for her and so she could live? Jesus was willing to lay his life down for us so we could live. Jesus took mental, spiritual. Jesus took the soul and the flesh punishment for us, the church, So, brother, will you take the mental beating? Will you take the emotional beating? Will you take the fleshly beating, the financial beating for your woman? She is the weaker vessel, according to Peter. The wife is the weaker vessel. God has the answer for a woman that has a very strong desire for a man. Sister, when you are molded into that Proverbs 31 woman, and brother, when you know your purpose in life and you have a relationship with God and you are trying to please the Lord to the best of your abilities, sister, when you're trying to please the Lord to the best of your abilities, you all going to the day when you meet one another, you don't know one another. What do I mean by that? The day that you meet one another, you don't know one another. You're not, brother, you're not going to be thinking about that a woman when you meet her. Sister, when you meet the man, you're not going to be thinking about meeting the man. God got a surprise for you, sisters. He have a surprise for you. That's why I always say this, sister. You supposed to have a relationship with God before you have a relationship with anybody else. You got to make sure that tight. Once that is tight, that's when God going to set up the situation for you. And he's going to set the situation for the man too. And in his time, he's going to bring you all together. You understand that? He's going to bring all of you all together. So, brother, what does that mean? That means that you don't have to go to a club looking for a woman. You don't have to go where the women at. Sister, you don't have to go to a club where the men at. Some of you, brother, you perpetrate and you go to the church building because you think I could find a good wife there. And some sisters, they believe that too. If I go to the church building, I can find a good man there. Not necessarily so. When you read things, a lot of time when you read in the Bible, there's not one thing that shows where in God's word where a man and woman was in worship service per se when they met one another. No, it's not there. But they were worshiping the Lord, but they weren't in no per se gathering with a lot of people. Now, it could happen that way. We don't know how God is going to fix up how the man is going to find the woman. And we don't know what position, sister, you're going to be in when God causes man to find you. Just be ready. Sister, you know how you're supposed to be ready. You're supposed to be ready just like if Jesus comes today. You have to be prepared. Because Jesus could come at any time for the rapture, right? That's exactly how it should be when it's about a man. Just be ready. Be ready. Because just like the Lord could come in and rapture you and call you up there to meet him in the sky, this particular day, God could cause you to be at a store getting milk or something like that, and then this man come to you and like Anita Baker said, rapture you. God has the answer. But you have to have God as the priority, sister. After God is the priority, ask God to mold you to be the woman that man need. Not what he want, what he need. Because many men, they want women, but they basically want women for sex. You don't need no man to want sex from you. And then on the flip side, there are a lot of women that want money from a man. I'm going to talk about the money and the sex tomorrow. Y'all be tuned. Y'all come to supper for that tomorrow because I got something to talk about. I'm not going to hold back. It's not about men. It's not about women. I'm coming straight down the line, and I'm going to talk to you all about game tomorrow at our supper. The games that some mature men, quote unquote, and some mature women, they still playing. Because a lot of men and a lot of women, a lot of men, a lot of women, they still playing games. But I'm gonna have that for dinner tomorrow. I'm not gonna tell you the title, so you stay tuned. Sisters, the answer is God. It's not the hookups. It's not the references. It's God. God, prepare me to be that Proverbs 31 woman and cause the right man to find me. That mental list that I have in my mind, Lord, wash my mind. I don't want that. You know what I need. Brother, the same thing. The woman that I need, I'm going to throw this thought out of my mind, what I'm looking for. I want you to call me to find the right woman. And the Lord called you to find the right woman, brother and sister. You've been in the right place. That is union, because the Lord is bringing you all together. My recommendation, sister, ask Lord. Don't ask him one time. Continue to ask him, but make sure it's all about his business first. Then you make your request. Don't give up on the Lord, sister. Whatever you do, don't give up on the Lord. Because the time when you give up on the Lord, that might be the time when he was about to do it, but you gave up. Brother, don't give up on the right woman. All that stuff that you, brother and sister, got in your mind, trash it. That's not God's way. Lean not to your own understanding, my brother, and lean not to your own understanding, sister. There is a man for all of you sisters out there that desire a man. Don't go by that racial stuff. What you all hear, there's all these men, a lot of men in jail, a lot of men don't have no job and all that kind of stuff. A lot of men like men. That's part of the truth, but there is a man that's for you if you desire a man, but make sure you have your stuff tight with God. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you all have a good evening. Thank you for coming to dinner. I hope somebody could help me wash these plates. But anyway, I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.